All right, with this West 2 Facebook Live update, I'm Chief Meteorologist Tony Manolfi. Marquise and I manning the Weather Center today, and we're getting ready, preparing our graphics for tonight's 6 o'clock show. Lots of good things to show you. We'll give you just a small sample here in a second and get you up to date, more importantly, on that severe weather risk, which for us right now looks to be from about 6 to 7 tonight through about 6 to 7 early Sunday morning. Then by the afternoon, we'll have a few showers. It'll be breezy, but the worst of the weather will have passed. So without further ado, let's scoot on into this puppy and show you what it looks like out there. Every camera that we have here right now is getting buffeted with heavy rain. That's Melbourne. They're under a flood warning. Flood advisory, because of heavy rain that's worked on through. We'll get to that in a second. The square also looking wet. Just one of those days where you want to be inside watching some of these college bowl games that are going on. And boy, speaking of that, the Cure Bowl over at University of Central Florida. Boy, I'll tell you what. That's a low-scoring affair and likely to stay that way, with the running game probably the best way to go with today's active weather. I-4 corridor, you can see traffic is limited, as is expected and anticipated on a very wet afternoon. By the time it's all said and done, we're potentially looking at 2 to 4, in some places even 5 inches of rain. Of course, the other big concern is along the coast. Check these out. You can see the rough surf there. New Smyrna Beach getting pounded right now. Offshore wave action in that 15 to 18 stage there, but may actually increase to 20 feet a little bit later on. I-Drive, for all the folks that were maybe thinking about the attractions or having fun along I-Drive and eating, make sure you got that umbrella ready to go. VAB also pretty wet. Melbourne's International Airport, as mentioned, pretty wet there. Heaviest rain falling up that way, although I tell you what, big slug of rain is working on up into the Daytona Beach area. Wouldn't be surprised if other flood advisory is issued for this corridor, with the intensity coming down up that way, which I'll show you on the radar here momentarily. Look at OIA. We'll be tracking the travel board there for you for delays. And then even back towards the Gulf there, over towards Clearwater, St. Pete, just kind of a nasty looking day outside right now. So let's put it all together here now. I want to show you the latest satellite and radar. As you can see, there's a look in there. You can see a little pressure now developing there in the Gulf of Mexico. Warm front is still 2 hours south. The one thing that's going to be interesting here, we're starting to see a little bit of that now. You see this little punch of drier air? It's going to be interesting to see if that cuts off the amount of severe weather and the rainfall totals. That's one thing that we're going to be watching here. Give me a different perspective of that right now. Rachel Creech, Russell Mullins, Marie Sophia, just to mention a few. Boy, the feed is indeed busy today, and rightfully so with all the action there. So there's everything kind of coming together. And the one thing that you don't want to really start to see a lot of is this. That's the height of the storms. They're kind of growing there, and it's that corridor that we'll have to watch here as we go forward in time. There's the upper low, there's your high, everything kind of congealing, coming together. There's a look now at the rain shield. Started early this morning from the south and continues to lift to the north. Notice the wind speeds there. Melbourne gusting to 38 here with some of that rain, and that's kind of come on through here over the last half hour, so we'll continue to watch that. And the wave action, you saw the New Smyrna Beach camp, still 10, 12, 13 feet near shore, even higher offshore. We take a look at the satellite and radar. You can see the gust along the coast, 20 to almost 40 miles an hour here, and we take a look at the live radar. It's interesting to know, we got this big shield, a very heavy rain here, that's headed up towards Volusia, then Flagler County. Then there's a little bit of a break, and if I widen this out, you might get a little bit of warming going on here. So we'll watch that as the warm front kind of lifts up. As we transition over the next couple of hours, we start to get into the deeper instability, which is down in here, and this is all trying to get lifted up to the north. So that's one of the things you're going to be watching on the radar there, and keeping an eye on those obs. What happens down south usually translates to the north. So we're looking for characteristics of the storms, the behavior of the storms down south, to kind of get an idea what may be coming our way. Maria Gonzalez, Chris Pierce, Christopher Burgos, Darlene Marie. Going to be hard to get all of your names in today just because it's so hectic and so active out there. But I do want to get to this flood warning advisory here, for a good chunk of Brevard County. And that is big, large area of highly populated towns and neighborhoods from Cocoa Beach to Melbourne to Palm Bay, down towards Barefoot Bay. That is going to be looking at heavy rain here. Then you may get a break, but it's going to fill right back in as we get deeper into the evening. Let me show you a couple of the advisories. We'll start with the winds here first. There's the most recent wind gust along the coast, topping out at close to 40 miles an hour. We've got wind advisories extended as far inland as Orlando, Kimberly, and Stephanie, and Donna Dolan. Good to have you, by the way. High surf advisory. Looking like this here, you can see along the coast, 6 to 12 foot breaking waves. We have a high rip current risk here along the coast, and then the coastal flood advisories during times of high tide. That's when we think the flooding is going to be at its worst, and so that's something we're going to be watching. Next high tide, I believe, is at 9 o'clock. Let me double check my graphic here. It is high tides at 12:09. And then the next high tide will be at 1 o'clock tomorrow. So there we go. There you have it right there. Just wanted to look that up on my cheat sheet there. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to get you some model data here. Let's do, before I do Futurecast, let me give you the wide perspective here first. There's Saturday on into Sunday. You can see that low track there. Along the warm front, there comes the low over land. Kind of get that 1-2 punch. Risk there for strong to severe storms, and everything lifts back to the north. So what we don't want to see happen is a break in the rain so that we can kind of warm things up. And we may be getting the beginnings of that right now. So that's not something we want to see. So here's 4 o'clock. There's your rain. You can see as we get to 6, 7 o'clock, rain and storms starting to pick on up. Gets even heavier. 8, 9, 10, 11. You can see the bands of darker shades of red there. Look at the wind speeds now. 10, 11 o'clock, especially along the coast. The land, 30, 40. Look at Palm Bay, 51 mile an hour wind gusts there being depicted by this particular model right around 11:30. Then, as we go into the midnight, you can see everything kind of pivoting to the north. The low itself coming ashore 1, 2 o'clock in the morning right there, right over the Tampa Bay area. And notice the winds picking up. Daytona Beach, Palm Coast. There's your spin coming up towards Wildwood by 3 o'clock, and then you can see the low really cranking on up there, and by 5, 6 o'clock lifting up to the north and the east near Jacksonville and then the Carolinas. So we'll have a few showers in the morning up to the north, but the winds, even during the afternoon behind this storm system, look at how it increases. That's what that little secondary trough of energy that kind of comes on through there, enhancing some of the winds during the course of the afternoon. So don't think that once the rain stops that the wind is going away. That is not going to be the case. All right, let's talk severe threat here for Melissa, for Carla, for Trina, and for Stephanie. We do have the county by counties for you. I'm going to do that at the end, though, so you guys can kind of gauge what to expect in your counties. So the entire viewing area, except for that northwestern nook there of Marion County, is under yellow, which is it's 2 out of 5 versus the 1 out of 5 for that far northwestern tip, Denellen, up near Williston. Again, an isolated threat there. You get closer to that track of that storm, you're not really in that warm sector as long. So that's one of the things we have to watch. So let's break this down. The tornado threat, by the way, in the yellow is about 5%, which seems low. And thankfully it is, but it's still there versus the 2% in the green. Wind is going to be a big concern. We've been breaking that down all week. When you take a look at the storm impacts, we've got red for coastal flooding, heavy rain, and the wind there along the coast. The winds could exceed 50 miles an hour. All right, let's talk rain. The other element we want to kind of put together here. Here's our Futurecast model. Look at that. Big swath there. 3 to 5 inches of rain, even hinting at even more there along the Seminole Lake Orange County line. That's the only model really doing that. I do want to show you the Euro and the GFS, and there you go. It's got heavier amounts north and west up towards the land, Wildwood, the villages, Palm Coast, Daytona Beach. So the Euro is kind of shifted a little bit to the north here. Let's show you the GFS now. The GFS kind of doing the same thing, but still has an extensive area of 2 to 4 inches of rain across a good chunk there of central Florida. So again, rain, wind, and we're watching that 12-hour window there for the risk for strong to severe storms. Speaking of the winds, look at that. The coast today, 45 to 55 as the storms come in later on. Inland today, 35 to 45 on Sunday. Still gusty along the coast, 40 to 50, and then 35 to 40 inland areas. All right, Louis Diaz is in the house. Nathaniel Story, Debbie Miskell, and Billy Albert watching Elf on this rainy day. That is a very, very commendable idea. I do like that. He's in the holiday spirit. Looks like you're going to get greater than 5. Chris, well, if you look at the one Futurecast model, you're in that zone. But again, not all the models are that high. That's kind of one of the outliers, but I do want to show it to you. Coastal storm impacts, wave action offshore, up to 20 feet. We have gale warnings. We have coastal flooding, a big concern there. Let's get back to that wave action here for everybody. I wanted to show you tonight. We are talking about 12 to 20 foot offshore seas, near shore breaking waves, 7 to 13 feet. Just incredible. Sunday, very dangerous as well. Monday, Tuesday, 5 to 9, then going back up a little bit there on Wednesday. Just heard SeaWorld is closing at 5 p.m. due to the weather. Robert, that makes a whole lot of sense, considering that's kind of the timing of when the more significant wind and that warm front coming up will start to enter into central Florida. Let's see here. Marna Hendershot has popped in. Marna, good to have you there. All right, let's do some storm impact county by county here for you. And there you can see along Interstate 75, 2, 3, 4 inches plus, a distinct possibility. Time frame here, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Sustained winds this evening, 25 to 35, max gusts 35 to 45. So there you go. Nancy Octaviani has popped in. We go to the metro areas here along I-4, 6 p.m. to 6 a. Worst weather for sure. 25 35, max gust 35 45. 2 to 3, 2 to 4 with isolated 4 to 5 plus there. A distinct possibility as you get into the northwestern sections there of Orange and Seminole County. There you go. Lakeland is pretty close to this, by the way, Anna Medina. 2 to 3 isolated 4-inch amounts down there. Winds for you 25 35, max gust 35 to 45. Jay Schofield, you're welcome. So yeah, just kind of a day. Wrap those gifts, presents. We got Hanukkah finishing on up here. We got some football. We've got all the holiday movies. So just stay put. Let this pass. Tomorrow's going to be a different day. Danielle Craig. I tried, Danny C. Good to have you, by the way, Danny. Miriam Fougier, Tammy Houle. So there's the coast. Again, here, one of the things Marquise and I were looking at is the torque on the backside of this storm could actually generate winds over 50 miles an hour after midnight and until the low pulls away very early in the morning. 2 to 4 localized. Remember, we have the flood advisory already for central and southern Brevard County, so we're already getting some significant rainfall amounts. And we'll put together a rainfall totals list down there for you here in just a little bit. All right, let me show you Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Behind our storm system, big time front comes on in. And I tell you what, if you like cooler weather, if you like chilly weather to put you in the old holiday spirit, bada bing, there you go. Look at Monday, 65. Tuesday might not even hit 60 degrees. Westy Lute, Anita Stevenson, Dana Luz Olivares. So there you go. You bet it, Renee Thurn. So 72 in the morning, dropping in the afternoon. Again, the first warning weather day is for the very, very first 6 hours of the day, from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. And then I think as we get to mid to late morning, we're going to be turning the corner and getting a bit better. All right, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, there you go, 65, 59, 66. A nice stretch of some cooler weather. Some cooler weather coming on in, lows 45, both Tuesday and Wednesday. 30s, though, 30s will be with us as we wake up on into Marion and even potentially portions of northern Lake County. We'll keep you posted on that. Helene Rich, Gordon Mooneyhan. Chris, my birthday on Saturday looks great. There you go. Happy 21st birthday to you there, Chris Pierce. So, all right, one more time. Let's go to the radar. Again, as of now, not seeing anything that screams severe or rotation over land down to our south. I do want to do one quick thing here for you. There's the velocity product. Let's do this. Let's do that. Oh, yeah, loving that. Let's do this. So there's that. So what kind of winds are we looking at here? Just kind of squirreling through some of these heavier rains. 35, 45, 38, and that seems to be kind of pretty much standard today, just because the storms are moving so darn fast. So yeah, that's that. Let's take a look now at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay offshore. Again, nothing that screams any issues just yet. So I like that. So we're going in the right direction. The one thing we don't want to see, though, we don't want to see a big lull in the activity. We want to keep the rain coming in so we don't heat up and create some more instability. So that's one of the things we're going to be watching. The one thing that is catching my eye, look at the lightning strikes now beginning to build up here off to the south and west of the Tampa Bay area near this developing area of low pressure. And that's one of the things that we're going to be watching again throughout the course of the overnight time frame. All right, flood advisory, Brevard, Indian River, and Osceola counties until 5:45. Again, upwards of 1 to 3 inches of rain has fallen here with a more likely. Let's see, Terry Suzanne. Yes, Terry, we're keeping it simple. That's all we're doing here. You know how we roll, girl. Let's see here. There it is. There's the rain coming up I-95. Right into the downtown area. Again, we showed you a couple of the cams there. There you go. There's a look now at downtown. Show you a couple more of the other cams. There you go. Oof, the surf, quite rough over towards New Smyrna Beach. Heavy rain down there at Melbourne's International Airport. And that heavy rain is headed on into Daytona Beach as we speak right now. Again, it's going to be a very, very windy, very, very wet afternoon and evening. Hopefully your pools are filling up and you're getting a little bit of savings on the watering of the lawn and filling up the pools. So that's certainly one of the things that's going to be a good byproduct of this particular storm. So let's see. Yeah, it's very heavy rain here now, says Melissa. Terry Suzanne, that's why we like you. We like the viewers that are in tune to what's going on, that come in, make it simple. The one thing we have to watch, we don't want to see what I call a V-notch to develop. That's usually a sign that there could be severe weather developing. So again, not seeing that yet. There's another little piece of energy. Let me clear this real quick. It's going to be interesting to see. This is there's a little piece. This is the upper level piece of energy. And once this dumps in and catches up with the surface reflection in here, kind of energizes the storm. But one of the things you can get is a dry slot. So it's going to be interesting to see if that does transpire here. I do want to show you Futurecast one more time here before I let you guys roll. I don't want to take up your whole afternoon, but I do want to keep everybody up to speed. So again, the time frame, the risk for the greatest severe weather. Anna Jacques in Wedgefield coming down big time, she says there. Yeah. So we look for a V-notch signature on the water vapor channel, Natalie, and so when we see that, that's usually an indication that there's a better chance for the likelihood of severe weather, just FYI. All right, so there's Futurecast, 7 o'clock, and you can see winds are heaviest along the coast, but still quite breezy, even back through the interior. There you go. There's 7:30. Now, there's where it starts picking up, 7, 8, 9. Look at the coast, 35, 40. There's 10, 11 o'clock. There comes a big slug of energy right there. Look at the winds along the coast, about to increase to 43 in Melbourne. That is midnight on our graph model. I'm going to show you the euro here in a second. Look at that, 45 Daytona Beach, 1:30 in the morning. 45 Palm Coast, 2:30 in the morning. That energy translating northward now as that storm system cranks up and lifts out to the northeast. All right, let's take a look now at the euro with the winds. That was the graph. Let's back this puppy up. There we go. There's your euro model. You can see. There's Saturday. Look at that. 40, 45 at midnight. There's that piece of energy lifting back up towards the north. 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. You can see back towards the coast, 40 to 45. And then that energy lifts on out right around 6, 7. So we have really good model agreement as far as the timing of the worst weather pulling off the coast there by about 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. All right, one more model, the GFS, because I like showing you the difference of the models from southwest and northeast. The wind direction is going to be switching. It's southeast, turning southwest to west-northwest by tomorrow afternoon behind that low. So we're going to run the gamut there. We're going to be all over the place as the winds, back in now and then veer. We're gonna do it all. We're gonna have all the bases covered here. So there's the GFS, 10 o'clock. Look at the winds along the coast. 46 Daytona Beach at 11. Downtown Orlando again, 35-45 midnight, 1 o'clock. Look at Palm Coast, 49 mile an hour wind gusts there, and close to 50, 3 o'clock in the morning as that storm is lifting up to the north and the east. And there you can see as we get you on into the afternoon, things begin to dry up. Staying windy on the backside of the storm. All the models showing pretty much the same thing, little timing differences, but the rainfall amounts are all in very, very, very good agreement. So coastal flooding, heavy rainfall are high, wind 50 plus. We'll take 50 plus. I'd call that medium. If we had 40 plus there, then I would put high. So let me just pull this down a quick little notch like that, and we'll play it out like that. So we'll do 50 plus a medium chance. Only one hit on the model is doing that. So it's 50-50 there. The graph model, by the way, did have the most amount of rain. For those of you that have just gotten in a little bit later, make sure you get your coffee in. Yes, Melissa, I will do that. Thank you. Tracy Shuke Barber, good to have you. And you guys know my motto, sharing is caring. The more people we can reach by you guys sharing these Facebook Live feeds, the more people we can put in the weather know. And that's really what these are all about, keeping you guys up to speed with what's going on, what is happening, what's unfolding, what's not unfolding. And not just during times of bad weather, during the holidays, people want to know what's going on. You're jumping on a cruise, or maybe you've got family coming into town. So there's a lot of things, there's a lot of reasons why we do these. Erin, Barb, Lynn Morgan, Natalie Ann, good to have you guys here in the house. So that's Futurecast, a very significant amount of rainfall on that. That's the one with the most amount. The Euro and the GFS have kind of toned it down a little bit across the southern and southwestern regions. Looks 1 to 2 inches of rain. It's still a lot, don't get me wrong, but it's not as high as the runs that we were seeing last night. Tisha's in the house. Chris Pierce, you're welcome. Matty Ross from Vegas. Vegas is watching us, rolling the dice on our weather. He is. Nathaniel Story, Melissa Marie Oster. There you go. So there it is. There's the heavy rain up to the north. All right, I'm going to end this one on the 7-day. And then if things are quiet after our evening newscast tonight, I will do another one when I typically do one around 8. But again, Sunday afternoon improving, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 50s and 60s for a good stretch there, and then getting back into the 70s by Friday and Saturday. All right, guys, stay weather aware. Have the iPhone alerts on, your weather radios, and of course, Marquise and I will see you at 6 as we tag team with some graphics we've kind of put together for tonight's 6 o'clock show. All right, guys, take care. Stay safe and keep dry.